Hello everybody, KingTex here. Before this video starts, I just wanted to stress 3 things. One of them is about my channel in general, and 2 of them are about this video. So the first one is, I can't believe how much support I've been getting recently. And I know a lot of YouTubers say this and they say, thanks for the support, but I genuinely mean it. And it's been absolutely incredible. So I just wanted to say thank you for subscribing and thank you for liking, because it genuinely does mean a lot. The second and third thing that I want to stress is that this isn't a hate video and that you shouldn't go and hate on Ethan. This video is just constructive criticism on Ethan and the things he has said and done in the last year, and it is just my feelings. So second, this isn't a hate video, and third, please don't go and hate on him. So let's get started. On April 7th, 2017, H3H3 started his new podcast, H3 Podcast. Now initially, this podcast was just for a place where Ethan and Healer could voice their opinions, and it was kind of like a second channel to H3H3, but instead of being comedy, it was mainly just discussion on an easily accessed and easily understood podcast. After the H3 Podcast's really successful launch, Ethan must have realised how profitable a podcast is. Not only does he not have to spend time being funny or editing, he also gets tons of watch time, views, and sponsors. So this must have given the idea to Ethan that he doesn't need to make a main channel, because he can just sit down and record 2 hours of a podcast and upload all the highlights for easy views. Now that's where the first issue stems. Ethan left his old channel to run a podcast, and most of his fans didn't want this. They wanted old Ethan and Healer to upload comedy videos, but Ethan just stopped uploading. And nobody knew why until he came out with a statement. Ethan explained that the reason why they weren't uploading was because he was depressed and that Healer's dad passed away, which makes a lot of sense. If you're grieving and you're depressed, then you're not going to upload as much. You're not going to want to make comedy videos. But what doesn't make sense is that this was 2 years ago, and now Ethan still isn't uploading, which led fans to believe that Ethan used this as an excuse to not upload on his main channel while still doing podcasts, which I also don't understand. If you're grieving, why would you spend 2 hours on camera interviewing different YouTubers and all around making jokes? It made no sense that Ethan quit his main channel, where realistically he was on camera for 5 minutes, to do a podcast for 2 hours when he said that he was depressed, and that just didn't make sense. But then he tried to use his depression for another reason. During this time, Ethan was also facing backlash for saying things about the Catholic Church and for getting too involved in politics. He kept making really fucking stupid statements like saying everybody in the Catholic Church is in on the paedophile ring. So far there are 2 reasons why people hate H3H3. They feel like he abandoned his main channel to start a podcast. They also feel that he has been saying some outrageous shit. But now there is a new controversy that people hate him for, something that happened recently. H3H3 allows people that he used to criticize before on his podcast. Now a recent example of this is Trisha Paytas. H3H3 has made jokes about Trisha Paytas multiple times, whether it be on Twitter or his YouTube. So not only is he a hypocrite for letting these people on his podcast, but he also agrees with them in situations where they are clearly wrong. A good example of this is when Trisha started making a rant about Anthony Padilla from Smosh, where Trisha Paytas and Anthony Padilla had a row. Instead of H3 being neutral, he started agreeing with Trisha Paytas and boosting what she said. And a lot of fans didn't like this. They thought it was hypocritical, and they thought he was siding with someone just because they were on the podcast.
I just did a video talking about how I think I have multiple personalities, and he's like, no you don't, fuck you for claiming this, all this shit, and I was like, fuck you for telling me.
He's the type of dude who gets offended for other people.
Now it's time to move on to segment 2. With Ethan not making a statement on his main channel, and not really wanting to talk about his main channel a lot, it's very plausible to believe that he may not ever upload on that channel again. Or maybe he won't upload for a couple of years, or maybe a couple of months. There is no way to tell when he will upload. But I think what the takeaway message from this video really is that H3H3 got lazy. He left his fans for a podcast even though his fans didn't want him to. And now he's receiving a ton of hate for going back on things he said, on things he did, and the things he believed. And I think what everybody can agree on is that we want the old H3 back. The H3 that makes funny jokes. The H3 that isn't afraid to go out in public and do some funny skits. Because the H3 that sits on the podcast currently isn't funny.